Okay then guys, this is your complete transformation process for New Age's take on a Generation 1 Dinobot snarl. Just a reminder, it's only the transformation process. The review has been separately uploaded, and also I intend this to be a tutorial because, as always, these are quite intricate. However, you'll be pleased to know this one's actually quite fun to transform. Let's start off with, very simply, folding the toes into the back of the heel on both legs, and then just sort of moving these up out of the way for now. What we're then going to do is turn your attention to the back legs. You can collapse this up a little bit because that's going to end up being a toe as well, so just collapse either side. Now what you really need to be careful doing here is just take the back leg. You'll see that will release that there, which is tabbed in either side. So the whole of this front section now, pretty much same as the G1 figure. You can grab at the front, separate the head, and bring all this part out. And as you can see, I've separated the tab there, and I'm going to bring these completely out of the way, and I'm going to try and show you this in as much detail as I can because there is loads going on the inside of this leg. Right, so while we've done this now, this is also on a separate hinge, which you'll see here. So I'm going to untab this via there. Again, if you haven't got much nails with these are quite awkward. So let's lift this up. This has come off there, that's out of the way. Now what I want to show you is this. Now the reason why I've moved everything out of the way is to show you this in a bit of detail. So move the other leg out of the way. This is where the main join or the main hinge is. So you're going to fold the feet over there. You can see that there now quite prominently. Rotate this all the way around 180 degrees, keeping the dinosaur head in your hand, and then enough so you can fold that over there. And that's now going to allow you to stand the upper body and the upper leg onto itself to make the actual leg. Move the dinosaur head forward whilst keeping that still there, and then what we're going to do is collapse everything inside. So on that red hinge, collapse this in, rotate that forward and correct this there. There is your foot. Now on this bit's a little bit more clever. Rotate this in over on itself like so. This is going to fill this gap. Now what you need to do is make sure that this grey hinge is out of the way. You're going to bring this over, close that there, and close that up there. Now that is how the inner leg looks. Now there's one little thing I do want to point out to you. You would now tab this into that little cutout there. I am not going to do that because I'm going to do the reverse transformation straight after. And believe you me, once it's tabbed in with these nails, it's very, very difficult. In fact, nigh impossible to get out. So I'm going to leave that leg there like that for now. Let's repeat the same process. So the leg is out here. There you go. Now remember this hinge here, it's all on this here. So if I show you this again, collapse the dinosaur's head over. There's all the inner workings. Hold onto the dinosaur head, rotate it all the way around like so until you can stand the leg up on itself. The head can go down and into there. In fact, it might be this way. No, it is that way. Then, of course, this was on this little hinge here. Lift this up, open it out, tilt it back in on itself. So if I show you around from this side, there it is, rock in. Oh, let's move this out of the way. So bring this down. It's on this little moving hinge there that's just got caught. So let's bring it up. There it is. Rotate it over now because this is going to be the back part of the leg there. This is that little tab that I didn't tab in on the other leg that's just getting caught. Lift it out of the way. Close that there. Rotate the foot around and underneath. And that again is going to be your leg, guys. So when I bring these down like that, pretty much done. One last thing. Full 180 degree rotation at the waist. So they are your legs, they are your feet, and to be honest, that's the hardest bit. So once you pass this, it's a home stretch. Move on to the tail. Same principle as the front. This needs to be completely separated all the way down to this big yellow part here. And these are tabbed in very, very securely. Rotate that out of the way, fold it down rather, and then grab this whole part, lift this all the way back. Double and triple hinges here. Look, take the red one, hinge it up, hinge it all the way up, and hinge that totally out of the way. Same principle here, totally out of the way, and then out pops your head like so. Push this back now to enable you to come. Oh, before you do that, tuck each yellow part in like so. So tuck it over onto the red first, then tuck it down. Apply just a bit of pressure to push it flat. This will come up and over, and it's going to sit there. Now, before we go any further, this again is where it gets kind of clever with the jigsaw pieces. Out comes the actual robot arm, so slide that down, fold it over, and then again on that hinge, tilt it down till it fits in. So have a look from this side. It's all to do with these hinges. Pull the arm, oh, keep the back part up, pull the arm down, rotate, twist on that hinge, put in. Fold these down here. Last bit of clever tucking everything away. Tuck the back spines in there. That's going to fit into that gap. 2 little cutouts here, 2 tabs on the top, up, over, tilt it back a little bit until you can tab. Oh, let me show you what I'm doing. I'm just going to get this tilted back a little bit so it's going to come over the top and it will tab into there, and then this will then reach over. Oh, I think I've still missed it, to be honest. Yeah, I have. That's definitely not secure. Believe you me, guys, you will know when it's in, because it's one of them really tough things to actually move. So as I say, I move this out of the way. All I'm looking to actually do is to tab this grey bit into there. So you need to tuck it down. That's better. That's gone in flush now. And as I say, believe you me, you will definitely know that it's in flush because it stays there and it stays, and that tabs in, going all flush at the back. Now see how it's nice and flush? Once you've done that, I probably made that look a little bit more difficult than it was. It was just because I was reaching around the camera. You can adjust these however you want. The clever last little trick with the fists. I've put the fists on, extend out the arm, pull it all the way out, and then tab this over, and the fist is revealed. Now, if it's brand new out of the box, you won't have the fists on, but as always, I like to prove that you can do the transformation processes with the fists still attached. Keep your arm forward until that lines up, and then it's a case of lining that tab up, which you saw there. And to be honest, guys, once I've corrected that again, there he is in his robot mode. So then let's take him back to alternate mode. A little bit more tricky because you've just got to close everything up, but we're going to start off with lifting up that there, collapse the arm inside itself, close that down, and that covers up the fist from the aerial view. It doesn't cover it up completely, but from the aerial view it will cover it up, which is fine. You can, of course, if you wanted to, just take the fist off completely. However, you don't need to, as long as you've got that there. Turn your attention to this bit, which took me ages to get in, which sometimes is even more difficult, but not now. Really easy to pop off. Pull out all them spines as well. Keep this totally out of the way. And then if you remember, these are on separate hinges as well. So let's just pull these carefully out of the way, because we've now got to extend out these all the way up, all the way up. Take the head in on itself, disappear it in there, close that off, collapse it on itself, close that off. Right, this, if you remember now, is quite clever. We're going to bring this all the way up, and then we're going to line these. In fact, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to bring them over there, make sure that gap stays big enough to bring the yellow part through. Rest that there. Now close up this behind it. Make sure that it's all flush, all sort of lined up. See how it sort of sticks up at an angle? I'm going to show you why that is in a second, because what you need to do is then take this, turn it up until you hear that click. That's now going to enable you to bring the arms around and underneath, tilt it back, and there's your jigsaw piece fitting in. So fold the arm down. Same again, rotate this down here, tilt that back, that fits into there, and there you've pretty much got the back done. Let's take the waist, rotate it around like so, and then I'm probably just going to adjust the camera. So let's just sort out the front bit. And again, this one I think was the most intricate because of how so many things are going on inside. So let's lift this out of the way first and foremost. If you remember, guys, that was the tab that I didn't tab in. Again, if you haven't got nails or if you've got a spudger, you'll be okay. Take this little part back. You can extend this all the way out. You can then bring this completely around to the other side, and then we're going to leave that there. To be honest, we're going to do exactly the same with this leg. We're going to bring that to the other side, and then the intricate part, if you remember, is this dinosaur head here, because on the inner workings, where is it? If we look from this side, so now what we're going to do, we're going to adjust this. So what you need is you need to be able to tuck the dinosaur head safely into the back there so you can see this. If you can't do that, you're not going to be able to rotate this around on itself, and then when you know you've got enough clearance, you should be able to close it off the other way just to complete that look. Ensure you've got that screw visible this side, and then what that's going to do is going to collapse over on itself, but we've got quite a bit of tidying up to do first and foremost. So let's fold this over. Let's bring this in a little bit, fold this down because this is going to go over and around there. This little tab is now folded definitely in on the outside. The leg comes over there and that lines up. We'll worry about this bit in a minute because what I want to do is get the same on the other side. So if you remember what we do, fold out the leg all the way on the other side. Open up that, fold out this leg, via this hook here, because again it's not tabbed in. Even though it's not tabbed in, it's still quite tricky to get in. Rotate this all the way out onto this side and around, and then again it's all to do with this part here. So if we open this out, we just move this ever so slightly, and then we're going to take the dinosaur head, and then we just need to adjust it so that it can rest against the thigh like so. So this is now visible, and you can go all the way around again on that hinge, and then the dinosaur head comes out, the screw is facing in. You can start to collapse this over itself. So fold this down, and we're going to start to tuck everything away and inside. Let's close this up, bring it through there, close the foot on there. There's the huge tab in the middle there. Let's get that in first, and now let's start to line all this back up. So the yellow's just moved. Hold the whole waist, push that in. See how you've got to push it all the way in, collapse it all inside itself, and then I'm going to bring this out of the way. This has just popped out again for a second. If it does, it doesn't matter. What you're looking to do again though is push the red section, straighten it all up to the point where you can bring this forward. That's going to tab together like you just saw. Push it right in, make sure it's tight just so it won't pop out again. This has popped out again, so let's just bring this over and tab this in. Right, let me show you what's going on here. It's because that giant tab in the middle hasn't closed off. So let's close these bits, close this bit in the mouth. What's going on? Let's just double check, because of course we don't want to damage it. It's this, there you go. This whole tab here needs to come up, and it needs to lock inside there. There we go. That's what I hadn't done. Once I'd locked it in like so, everything else here is going to lock back in. These go back, the little toes come forward. There we go. Bring the leg forward. Same principle on this side. Let's bring this down, close that, fold the feet out. Oh, this is really, really tough, these little feet are, to be fair. Fold them, and then the bit that we need to make sure is that that has gone in there, covering that hole. Fold that foot out. Same principle on this side. Line that up, bring that down, bring out the little foot, and there you have your alternate mode. As I say, nowhere near as difficult as some of the other New Age figures. Hope you found it useful anyway, guys. And as I say, the review is separately uploaded as well. Thanks for watching. Take care.